Craig started his career as a one-star recruit, and he's achieved a lot, but he has one final goal before he graduates. If you don't know, Craig isn't the most loyal person. He went from New Mexico State as a freshman to Texas A&M as a sophomore, where he won a title, and then Cincinnati as a junior, which is when he got his first Heisman trophy. Then he got his heart broke, though, losing to Nebraska in the semifinals. So instead of transferring as a senior, he's staying at Cincinnati, and all he wants to do is get the Bearcats a national championship, especially because he's apparently already graduated. That means with the weekly agenda, we can pretty much spend all of his energy on training, but the first obstacle in his way is a schedule with number 2 Clemson on it and also at number 8 Kansas State. NFL scouts also say the 5'9" receiver isn't athletically ready for the league yet since he only has 88 speed, but that's not stopped him from getting better and better with each season that he's played. I thought for sure he'd be a favorite to win back-to-back Heisman trophies, but he's not even in the running. So Craig has a lot to prove as we go into this first game against number 2 Clemson. We're only an 83, but we have an 87 overall at quarterback, Brady Drogish, and also Dakari Anderson on the other side at wide receiver with 99 speed. All I'm saying is Craig has achieved everything that he's wanted in his career so far, and that's why I have full faith in him to achieve his final goal as a senior, winning a national championship here at Cincinnati. I really like how our defense has already gotten a stop, but that was not a good throw. So if that's what we're working with all year with Brady Drogish, we might be in a little bit of trouble, but we got enough separation. Or maybe we didn't. It is now 3rd and 10. Craig Mason struggling so far, especially since that catch was short of the marker. Coach apparently went for it though, and we got the first down, so we're still out there on the field. I'm not even calling for it, which means Brady Drogish is simply staring down Craig, and that could be very good. These drops though are catching me a little bit off guard. He didn't have to deal with that last season. We have to block for our running back on 3rd and inches, and we could still finish off this drive right here. We're going to take the inside leverage and get us inside the 5. We don't need much more to take a lead against Clemson. It is hard versus man-to-man coverage, and that was just a terrible route. That's on Craig. We're now trailing 7-0 to Clemson. It's not exactly how I would have loved to start this game, but you simply can't make mistakes whenever you're facing off against elite opponents like them. The goal right now for this season is just save up enough upgrade points so we can upgrade his speed. But I'm starting to wonder if catching would be more worth it the way that he's been dropping passes for us so far. Craig did not have this issue as a junior, which is why it is so odd. But as this drive continues to go on, we're looking to end this first half with a lead, and why did he throw that ball to us? Brady Drogish clearly has no care in the world. He will put that ball wherever he wants to, and it's probably going to lead to Craig getting even more targets than he did as a Heisman winner. I'm disappointed to say though that Clemson scored to end the first half, which means we're still trailing by 7 points. They've also shut down Dakari Anderson so far, which has kind of thrown me off. They got a hand on that, but we caught it. That was one of the luckiest things I think I have seen in this so far. Why are you throwing the ball without us calling for it? Brady Drogish might be the worst thing I've ever played with. You would think that for Craig, it would be amazing. He's going to get so many targets, but I need to actually call for the ball if he's going to throw it in our direction like I did right here. Even if we lose this game to Clemson, it's not going to affect the entire season, but it is kind of telling what our season cap is if we can't beat a team like them at home. But I think Dakari Anderson's made his first catch because he's over there running down the sideline. Now, unfortunately, our defense did not get a stop, but if we had not given up that interception early on in the game, we would be in this. So what I know going forward is if we want to compete against a team like Clemson, we're going to have to play perfectly, and I feel like we have racked up a lot of yards. This is a pretty good sign for the rest of the season, at least in my opinion. Dakari Anderson makes another grab, and he didn't get a touchdown out of it either, so we could get the touchdown here or someone else. Now we're being pulled off of the field, but we just ran the football in, and I'm hoping our defense can hold them to a field goal. I have zero control over what happens. The 2 turnovers that we had in this game are going to cost it for us. I mean, I don't know what we can do to come back with a couple of minutes. But again, like I was saying, this is a good lesson for us to learn at this point in the season. I'd say that this game's pretty much gone the same way that our playoff game against Nebraska did last year, but I'm not sure if I'm a Brady Drogish believer just from the throws that he's been making in this game. Our numbers might be even better. We might win a second Heisman trophy, but I want to get wins, so we'll see if we can get a stop against Clemson. They are going to have a penalty, 2nd and 20, 3rd and 18. We're getting the ball back. This is absolutely massive. Our defense has done it for us. Where are you throwing it? It is very scary whenever that ball comes out as fast as he just put it out right there. I'm going to try to get out of bounds. And we are 30 yards away from taking a lead against Clemson. Where is that one being thrown? It's intercepted. The Tigers get the stop. No. We all know that this was a very winnable game. And what this performance does from Brady for the rest of the season pretty much means we have almost zero room for error. We can only lose maybe one more time. That's why I said playing playing Clemson was an obstacle on our schedule. I also have Jackson Anderson, our coach, inviting players out to hang out for the day. I think this would be good for me to get to. We need our coach trust and team chemistry to increase a bunch. And then I got this NIL offer, which would increase our route running permanently for just 3 energy at the end of the contract, so we're going to take a deal here too. The loss to the Tigers really didn't affect our ranking either. They know it was a good loss, that it was a close game. We only dropped down to number 11. So that's reassuring to see, but now we have to travel an hour to try and beat our rivals Miami, Ohio on the road. This might be a little bit more challenging than you would think. We'll see how it goes. And first play of the game, we're just going to run this route to the outside. We're going to use it a bunch. Depending on what look the defense gives Craig, that is exactly what he decides to just take. And we are flying down the field at the moment, running across it. We're now going to make our 3rd catch of the game. This is so much better than playing against Clemson. We have even beaten the press. We might have a touchdown 4 catches in a row. But how on earth was that marked as us getting in? The refs ended up reviewing it, and it wasn't awarded as a touchdown, so now we have to get it right here. What are we doing, Brady? He just threw that ball in the air like he was throwing a cornhole. But I know for a fact that if they're pressing Dakari Anderson, there's no way he's not going to get open sometime soon. There he is streaking down the field. No one is near him. Just seeing how that went right there, I need to remember to put him on a streak more often. We're the guy that get like 15 yards, and he's the guy that's going to make the home run plays, but we're going to try to run a double route, and instead it went somewhere else. It is clearly a much different game facing off against the Redhawks instead of Clemson, and I'm very relieved to see that we're not throwing the interceptions we were thrown in that last game. That was filthy. Anything with man-to-man coverage at this point, Mason can just burn deep. Look at that. And I would love if he could get a touchdown catch here as well, but it went to the other side, and it's intercepted. Beautiful. I should have never talked positively about Brady Dragish. He just can't help himself. Once we get up by 21 points, I feel comfortable in saying that the game is pretty much just over. So I thought I was going to be able to call it after that possession, but instead we have to go down the field again. This is probably good for Craig though. We are able to beat the press right there and take it into the end zone. So we're just starting to rack up the numbers. If I end up talking during anything else incredible that happens in this game, I'll make sure that that gets in. But I was dead silent during the 3rd touchdown. In Road to Glory, I can't go back and watch the instant replay to re-talk over what I messed up either. So you all are just gonna have to see the stats right here, almost 300 yards. And then this is the instant replay of Craig's final touchdown. He is press pro as an ability, so he is able to beat guys off the line every so often, and he's outrunning players now, which is something he never used to do. I know it was against Miami, Ohio, but that was a big moment for him. We are back inside the top 10. But Craig is nowhere to be seen on the current Heisman watch, so that's a little disappointing. We also have 6 skill points, which means we're halfway to upgrading his speed again. But until that can happen, we're just gonna have to continue to try and grind out wins, this one at Boston College. I have to assume this will be tougher than Miami, Ohio. So I'm not gonna act like I'm a big fan of getting this ball on the 2-yard line, but we're gonna have a good start. It's just like Craig's routes are so much crisper this year. I think that is Anderson over on that right side, outrunning a defender. I knew it the second that ball was put in the air. If you see it floated over to the other part of the field, it is him. And I'm not gonna act like Craig wasn't a little bit jealous of him last year. He was still trying to get his first Heisman trophy. But this season, all Craig cares about is winning. We might be able to have a touchdown right here, and I hit L1 to float that pass. All I'm saying was someone said in the comments, if you do that, then the quarterback won't throw a bullet. That is not true. But I might still be doing it wrong. It's just frustrating to know that we're probably gonna have more interceptions and stuff like that happening. There was no call for the ball or anything. And the Eagles tied it up almost immediately, so now we're in a tie game on the road, taking a sack. There's a lot of moments with this team where you have to wonder, why am I playing for Cincinnati? But Craig wants to stay loyal. And even after all the success that he's had, there's still not many big schools that were even interested. Now, I have realized that that spin move I hit at the last second might have cost a touchdown, but I didn't think that Craig was as elusive as he was right there, and we're breaking this. He's actually been pretty agile this year. It's been nice to see. That was a beautiful way to break off of the press, and he's still going. This is really good. Now it is 1st and goal. We're going to run a zig route. It's normally my favorite to do here, but I got stuck, so we threw an interception instead, and this is the Brady Dragish experiment. We are literally giving up points as we were on the goal line. I'm calling run plays from here on out. I don't want touchdowns in the red zone. It's literally just going to cost us a season if he throws it. He is our own worst enemy. It is no one other than him. We have to work 20 times harder. It might mean that Craig gets better stats, but again, I don't care about stats this year. The Heisman watch list is clearly disrespecting him, so all I want to do is get that championship. If that comes with some other awards, wonderful, but we know what the real goals are. And I was kind of surprised Craig Mason came away with that football on that play, but we would have had a tutty. This is almost getting in that range where we need to run the ball or else it's going to be an interception. I'm going for the jump ball. And we have to be careful. We only have 2 timeouts left. I think we're going to have to burn one right here. Never mind. We've audibled over to a run. I'm motioning over just so we can get an extra blocker in that gap. But of course, our running back missed the hole. We didn't even make the field goal, which was definitely centered down the middle to end the half. So what was the point of that? The frustration's starting to get to Craig as well. Me raising my arms right there did not cause that incompletion. And we just have to keep on pushing it down the field offensively, hoping that maybe Takari Anderson can bail us out over there. He is bailing us out. Wait, I'm actually really confused right now. It's 21-14. I caught the ball there. And apparently our defense got a touchdown with Manny Cover returning a fumble for 22 yards. That is incredible. It helps us out a bunch in this game. I'm not sure who's getting it on this play. Oh, it's Dakari. And he's going to have all the stats at wide receiver. There's nothing better than a 14-point lead in the 4th quarter, though. That is definitely worth it. From here, all we're going to do is work to close out this game, and then we're going to get a win, though we fumble it when we try to run the football. That was pretty embarrassing right there, but in the end, we still closed it out. And Craig Mason might not have won player of the game, but with his 13 receptions for 184 yards, he still contributed. It is about time that we start Big Ten Conference play, though. And this is where we got to be locked in. We have a couple of home games at first, but then we start to play more and more teams on the road, like number 14 Baylor, number 15 Kansas State. And our first Big 12 matchup here is against number 20 TCU, so it's not like it's going to be a breeze. Winning games like this, though, is what proves our ranking, proves that we deserve to be a top 10 team. And my only hope is Brady Drogish doesn't start this one off with an interception. No, he's going to find Craig Mason late. We're basically just running circles over there, hoping for the best. We got the animation of beating the press, but there's a safety back. And I've definitely wondered if it would be more worth it to upgrade some of our abilities when it comes to that, but they throw a pick. I didn't call for the ball. He had Anderson open. And now we have it on the 1-yard line. You all know what my favorite route is in this situation, just to get us out of it. But Craig Mason has gone through every struggle as a wide receiver, doing road to glory on this game. What makes it so impressive, though, is he's also overcome it. I don't know why we got thrown the ball here, but it's just another catch for this season, and we are going to try and take this slant for a sizable gain, not a first. We came very close, but it's 3rd and inches, so we're running a zig route, and he threw it over there. Brady Drogish might have the worst decision making I've ever seen, and I can't even be upset that we're currently down 7-0 due to his mistakes. We really need Dakari Anderson to just start going off. That's what makes the difference, and as I'm saying that, we throw it up to him. He catches it. He is such a difference maker. He was one of the reasons I said I would transfer to Cincinnati, and it truly elevates this offense to another level because Craig isn't going to get open on every single play, though they tried to go to him again. He clearly is also not capable of outrunning the defense on every single play, but I got in the way of that catch. That is how we're going into this 3rd quarter with only 7 points. He's going down. And I'm starting to notice that Brady doesn't handle the pressure too well, but he is going to help us pick up a first down. I would not have called for that ball right there if he didn't just immediately throw it. So sometimes it can be a good thing. And I guess we just have to trust his judgment, though right here we're running the hitch route for the first down. It's off target. I really don't want us to settle for a field goal, so I'm going to secure catch it. And that might be seen as a mistake. We probably could have gotten more yards. We need to get open on this 3rd and 5, though, and we do. This is where we have to question whether or not we should be throwing the football, though. That's going to get us to the 1. And I'm not even going to interfere with the run by trying to block. I'm just going to see if we score or not. We do. Being in the 4th quarter now, it was much more important that we just clutched up right there, having a hard time getting separation, but we get the ball. And I'm somebody that really doesn't like when we hand it off a bunch, but it seems to be working for us right here as he just bounces to the outside. Dion Reeder read the defense like a champ. The only thing that we can't have here is an interception. And all Craig needed there was about 2 more seconds to have a chance to break and get open. Here on 3rd and 1, I'm just going to run over in that direction. It's Brady picking up the first down. And we might have gotten pulled after that, but we were still able to score. So now we're in a spot up by 14. Our defense got a stop against TCU. And now I feel comfortable trying to make Craig Mason's stats a little bit better. We still have to see if he can win back-to-back Heismans. But more importantly, just the fact that we beat number 20 TCU like this is a huge deal for us. It was the first time Brady Drogish could actually win player of the game. But it doesn't make sense for him to get it over Craig Mason since he had like 75% of his yards. There should be more opportunities like this, though, to improve certain stats for games. Apparently, there's going to be heavy rain in the next one, so we're going to agree to come. And like I guessed, it means our attribute's going to be increased. We're going to have +5 catching for that one. It's against 1-3 Oklahoma State. We get to play it at Nippert Stadium, so we shouldn't necessarily struggle. But I'm not taking any chances because if we drop another game, we're probably going down to like number 20 in the polls. It's also important to note there are other wide receivers up in this race besides Craig, and I'm not quite sure how, because right now he's averaging even more yards per game than he did last year. My guess is that might change throughout the year, especially if we can afford to upgrade our quickness. But we need a few more skill points, and you only earn those skill points whenever you play super well on the field. The rain prediction was also correct. That is completely fine though. We prepared for this moment by getting +5 catching. I need to try and make a block for the tight end. And the Cowboys already have us to a 3rd and 11. They're going to push me to the inside, so I'm going to call for the ball right here, but Brady's deciding to run instead. All I can say is if he gets injured, I'm not sure if it helps or hurts us. We're finally getting a target. And as our drive down the field continues, they're doing a pretty good job over on Craig. There's definitely some noticeable struggles whenever we play against a corner that's much faster. But fortunately, after kicking a field goal, we have gotten it back inside the 30-yard line. So at least our defense has showed up for this game, and we are going to be open, except they get up to catch it. That was actually a really impressive interception. I shouldn't have called for it. I can't even blame it on him. And I don't understand how we always end up getting the ball back on like the 30-yard line against another team. Something weird must go on behind the scenes whenever you sim in Road to Glory, though we are out of reach. And I'm not sure why that pass was lobbed in the air and not a bullet pass. With all these offensive struggles, right now we're going to go into the half losing. They're going to get an interception against us as well right after scoring. And there's the typical read from Brady. 17 seconds left in the half now, trailing by this much, though that route is beautiful from Craig Mason and it puts us in field goal range. We still have 10 seconds to score a touchdown as well. Maybe we can also make that happen. Please, please don't be an interception. And after the incompletion, we're going to kick our 3. Now, I'm happy to say that we hit that kick, but playing in the rain has clearly not been good for this team. It is really bugging me how terrible Craig has looked in this game, even if we pass it well with other players. And on a huge 3rd and inches, I'm wide open, but he just missed. It is now 4th and inches. We are not running the football, so we're just going to run a zig route, hold on to it. And I find it very concerning we're still trailing in this game. Why are you throwing the ball right there? They're also breaking to the sideline, and I think they're about to get a pick 6. We didn't get the separation. He clearly just clamped up Craig. And whenever I say we don't deserve to be in this one right now, I mean it, but we did beat the press there. Brady Dragish has currently thrown 3 interceptions, no touchdowns. I can't do it. I just can't do it anymore. This is ridiculous. Even the fans can't believe it. Pull him out of the game. There's no call for the ball or anything. It's just, let's see what happens if I chuck it at the opposing team's defensive backs. And our defense has saved us. If it wasn't for them, this one would have been over a very long time ago. And I'm so disappointed that we're dropping the ball in that situation. Surely somebody else is open here, though. And there wasn't, so we're going to punt it on 4th and 2. We keep getting it back, though, with no success. That is what's so odd. Oklahoma State is so bad that they can't just put us away. And here we go, 3rd and 10. I did not beat them with the press, but we do have Dakari Anderson. Dakari Anderson is going to single-handedly save this season. It was an instant throw. I had no clue where it went. And I'm really hoping I can get open on the 2-point conversion right here. I'm sure. If the refs reviewed that, we wouldn't have gotten it. But apparently we have gotten it back, tied up at 17, minute left on the clock. And of course, they've already gotten it out over there to Dakari Anderson. We know that he's going to be streaking down the field. He is saving this season. I can't get too excited, though. Look at the score with 5 seconds left. Oklahoma State is going to send this thing to overtime versus us. I can go for the jump ball. Oh, it's another interception. If they return this right here. No, we're losing. We're losing. Why? Why would I call for that? I have no words at this point. They really just beat us like that. They really just beat us in the worst way possible. This one kid had 4 interceptions, and Brady threw 5 of them himself. When it came to receiving, Craig Mason didn't have that good of a day. And Craig is so disgusted, we're just going to cuss these guys out as they offer a terrible deal to us. I wish you could actually do that in this game. We have dropped down to number 20 in the polls, just like I predicted. If we somehow lost, we did. And here are the stakes for the rest of the year. If we want to somehow make it to the playoffs, we cannot lose again. There clearly needs to be some lessons we learn from this. I don't know what it is. It's Brady just throwing a bunch of picks, but we're going to have to win on the road at number 8 Baylor, at number 9 Kansas State. And the only good thing that we have going for us right now is Craig is getting a lot closer to being able to upgrade his speed. It is time to lock in. There is zero room for error the rest of this season. And first play off the bat, Craig Mason cutting over to the left side is going to get us 20. That is how we need to open this one up. They have a sold out gold crowd all around us. And I still cannot believe that we lost that game to Oklahoma State. It was such a bad one to lose, but there are good teams that lose games like that every year. And they had a really solid corner on Craig. Arizona State's not. That is the first time there that we have not had success offensively in this one. There's the interception already. Brady, You've got to be joking me. What are you doing, buddy? If our lineman catches 47, though, that'd be impressive. I just don't know what to do with this team right now. And we are already in a bad spot. We are literally fighting against all odds. It would be okay if it was like 1 interception a game, but no, it's literally like 3 or 4, and it's not even to us half the time. I'm not sure if because it's on Heisman, that's just what the game decides is exactly what's going to happen, but at least we seem to be having some success right here, and we're going to take this. We really don't need much more to get into the end zone. I'm a call for this immediately. And there we go. Craig is starting to make up for everything else. The day that he can beat the press off the line too, that is going to be a beautiful one. But right now, he is clearly not quick enough, and we're going to have to possession catch this. 3rd and 10 now, 2 straight targets. You would assume that this ball is going to go somewhere else on the field, but it does not. And he went backwards. I'm so glad that forward progress is a thing and we're getting more. This is not supposed to be a struggle, and it is. It is. No calling for it or anything. It's like I can't try to run a slant at all. I guess I just have to run exactly what's out there on the field and nothing else, though. We didn't get open there. There's a flag on this play, and it was against Arizona State. We have been bailed out. We had an interception. Back to talking about running the exact routes that they give me, though. It just doesn't work the same. Though the connection between Craig and Dragish clearly is not there. We have been bailed out a second time on this drive. Another penalty. But I feel like we don't deserve to be in this game either. I'm just staying still, and there's another interception. It's not even worth running the routes that are out there because we still end up turning the ball over. I don't know what has happened to this team. What has happened to this road to glory? But there's no shot it was that bad for Craig as a junior. I felt like we put up whatever we wanted. I think there's just certain types of archetypes of quarterbacks that throw a lot more interceptions than others, and Craig has gotten unlucky in his career. But we still have a chance to take a lead before halftime, and I've got to catch this pass. Here we go. Can we finish off this drive? We're going to the flag. And I just realized that at halftime, Craig Mason has 186 receiving yards. Another interception, though. Another interception. You're kidding me. This is actually the worst thing I've ever played against. We didn't catch it. Our own worst enemy is our own quarterback. I thought we were going to be good. If we somehow win a championship with all of this happening, that would really speak volumes about Craig. But I think going into next week, I have to try switching up the playbook or something. You can see the reads that Brady Dragish is making, though. They're not good. And we've been taken off on 4th and inches. I'm not sure why Road to Glory subs us out for big plays like that we were clearly going to go for, but who has the ball? At least the drive stayed alive. It is 3rd and 7, and I think we got enough separation for inside leverage. The route running button really helps with that, and I can't act like we're out of this game. We're about to take our 3. But we could also score a touchdown here if we pick up this 3rd and 5, and I got hit late. Arizona State hit another field goal, so we are still trailing in this game, down by 3. But I believe in this team. I'm not sure why I believe in this team, but I do. This is where we need Dakari Anderson to just come up big and have like a 60-yard touchdown. And I feel like things have just gotten worse for us. 4 interceptions in this game. It was not that bad earlier in the year, and he makes another bad pass. We had a touchdown. I've pretty much just given up. But Craig Mason does not give up. We have the ball back. 2 minutes on the clock. A chance to score. And we're just going to have to make the most out of this opportunity, I think. If they're not going to press us, if that guy drops back, we should be able to take all the open space. But I feel so defeated still. The fact that we're even at this point in the game. Brady Dragish is probably going to throw like his 6th interception. There was a flag, and it's against Arizona State. It actually was better for us to just decline it. I'm a call for the ball right here, but there was no urgency to get it out. Now it is 2nd and 16, and we're going to burn our first timeout. I really don't want overtime in this game. I'm afraid it's going to happen, though, unless Brady Dragish runs and he goes down to the 5. Hang on, you might just have to let him cook right here. I'm open. It's caught, and we're going to take a lead versus Arizona State. They had no response after that either. Of course they didn't. There was like no time left, but we have done it. We have survived another game with Brady Dragish, and Craig Mason definitely deserved to win this. I'm still really hopeful, though, that the playbook switch is going to help us play a lot better, have less interceptions. And we currently have 11 skill points. This is going to give us 12 so we can upgrade our speed. I have been waiting for this moment. I think we're still going to be able to upgrade it one more time before the end of the season, but at least right now, Craig has 95. And if we can beat people off the line, that might be the saving point of this season. As you can see as well, the Big 12 is wide open, so we could still make the conference championship. But we have some work to do. First play of the game, they're flipping their defense off the rip, and Craig Mason is gone. That is beautiful. We audibled. They flipped their defense. This is how we need to open it up. I don't care if it's cheese or anything. Brady is going to throw like 10 picks. And it's not like I intentionally did it. It just happened to happen. That speed is already going to be lethal to use. There's the interception, though. What did I say? What did I say? They're going to get those points back. They did it very fast. I have never seen a worse quarterback in my life, though he pre-fired that one. And I have been waiting for the moment that Craig finally feels fast in this road to glory. You know who else is fast, though? Decory Anderson. He's clutching up on 3rd and 10. It's been a pretty chaotic start, but West Virginia keeps on scoring. And this playbook's no better. He still throws it at the other team, as he has done it again. There's literally no saving us. Even if they only got a field goal out of that, we are now trailing by 3 in a match that we should not be losing by 3 on, and he throws it to triple coverage. This is quite possibly the worst quarterback play college football's ever seen. And here we go, 3rd and 19. The plan is just run to the sideline and hope that we get the first. Craig Mason is trying to work his magic for this team at the moment. He's actually going to hit us on the drag, and we had some speed. That was fun right there. You can see that he's going to be pretty explosive. I tried to block, and we just need this drive to not end in a turnover. What are we doing, Brady? If you combined all the worst quarterbacks from this season in college football, it would be better than him. This has been such a pain to deal with, but we're going to run a comeback route and get the first down. I still have to have faith in this team. On 3rd and 12, you know the route that I am going to run. And here we go, down inside the red zone now. We're going to call for it on the slant. We have to. If we don't call for it right there, you have no idea where the ball is even going to go. And Craig Mason is literally a Cincinnati legend. Without him, we all know that this game would be even worse than it already is. What are we doing? I was clearly not open, Brady. Why? Can I say that Craig is actively rooting for his starting quarterback to get injured right now? Because he definitely is. I'm not sure how we're going to close this one out at the moment. We have gotten open right here, though. Catch and run. Come on, Mason. You're going to have to make a guy miss. We cannot. Those are the types of looks that we're hoping for, though. Man-to-man coverage. And come on, we're so fast. We just needed a little bit more there to turn the corner. I really don't trust this team inside the red zone, even if we're scoring. And how does West Virginia, 3 and 4, have it in them to keep on responding back like this? The defense on this team was actually improved from last season. It was a reason I wanted to stay. But even if their overalls went up, they certainly have not played like it. We're continuing to fly down the field, though, and there he is, Decory Anderson. We got the 2-possession lead. We got the football back, so I think from here we can hold on and win. I can confidently say, though, we will never, ever be using this playbook again, even if it seems to be going pretty well. The audibles out of it are terrible. He threw an interception on a lot of plays, and somehow we're up by 17. This win feels so good, but Decory Anderson does deserve this. Even though Craig Mason had over 100 more yards, he had more touchdowns. And I feel like a lot of the NIL deals I've been getting just haven't been that good. They definitely drain your energy every week, though. Even if it says they're up front, it is every single week that we're losing 1 energy. But it's okay, because in a couple of weeks, we're going to have 98 medium route running. There is also some back-to-back Heisman chatter starting to happen. Craig Mason is popping up here, and we have moved up to 3rd in our conference. We're probably going to play some of these other teams throughout the season, so I'm not feeling as down anymore. There's definitely a lot of pressure to have to win out, but there's only one ranked team left on our schedule, Kansas State on the road. I think Baylor was ranked at one point, but they lost. And our last 2 opponents are both 1 and 6, so we really just need to get through the next 3 weeks. But before Craig finishes the rest of this season, a word from Prize Picks, today's video sponsor. College football can't miss. It just keeps on having great weekends, and to make it even more entertaining, I was on Prize Picks, where you pick between 2 to 6 players and then you go higher or lower on their projections. They also have promotions like Taco Tuesday and Flex Friday to keep things interesting during the weekdays. There's some discounts on picks, and Prize Picks is now available in over 40 states, so there's a good chance yours is eligible. I can also get you some cash to start out with on there, as CodeBoard will get you $50 instantly whenever you play with your first $5 plus lineup. But now it's time to resume the rest of Craig's junior season. The pressure is definitely on. The playbook switch did not work, and I've learned that on 4 verticals, I can't run to the inside. It never works. He throws that no matter what if I try to see the slants there and then cut to the outside. So that's a lesson to learn for the rest of the season. If they let us hike the ball quickly right there, we could have caught their defense off guard, but this time that route works. It's a shame that half the time when I run my favorite route, though, it results in an interception. We had them beat deep, I think, but he just threw this like 100 feet in the air. Brady Dragish is the most interesting quarterback I have ever seen while playing this game, and we get the first. We're not slowing down right now. I'm going to run a little cut, and I have figured out a route that I can run whenever it's 4 verticals, though right here we're gone. No, why would you put this ball this high in the air? It doesn't matter, we're going to get there first. What is our quarterback on? I seriously want to know. We're going to lose yards on 3rd down. And I wish Brady Dragish played as well as Aaron Rodgers did whenever he's on stuff. Instead, we just get a bunch of turnovers. This drive is still a chance for us to do something a little bit different, though. And I wasn't even on a slant. I was on an out route. What are we doing? Why are we throwing that ball there? He just pre-fired it. He pre-fired it. I can't run any double routes with Craig Mason. That's what I'm starting to realize, even though they've been money for seasons. If we don't cut him out, we are literally not going to win another game this season. We caught that. But it's so risky to do. I think I just need to run like straight slants or something. Whenever we had like 79 speed, it really worked. It was our only way to get open. But now it just seems like it does not work the same, and we're going to have to catch this, though I fell down. I can't believe that Baylor's offense hasn't scored a single point. Our defense has been good. But again, it is the offense that I am so concerned about. Please tell me that's Dakari Anderson on the end of it. Perfect. We're going to tie it back up. They might have gotten a field goal, but that's not the end of the world. We could also get a field goal before the end of the half, and we just keep on throwing it over there. That's why I wanted Dakari Anderson as our teammate, though. That is exactly what I was hoping for, and they're going to get the interception. I called for it, hoping that safety wouldn't play the ball. That was on me. If our lineman stops him, though, that would be clutch, and he is going to bring him down. We could have had it all tied up at 10 going into halftime, but there was definitely some greed from Craig Mason right there, and we threw it at him. I feel like that is just a reoccurring experience for us, though. No way. No way. I guess we're now just chucking it 50 feet in the air. You can't do that over the middle of the field. Hang on, Craig Mason. Find the open space. We'll go to the 45. That is some good progress right there. You love to see it. There's a flag here, though, and it's holding. We have not had a holding call in so long. Is it a legit one? Probably. Is it still super frustrating? Absolutely, though we do get the first. If we can get that one-on-one look over and over, I will continue to call for it. And I have no shame in that at all, though it's not open right here, so our tight end's gonna have to get it. Now, it is very crucial that Brady Drogish does not throw an interception now that we're down on the goal line. I've called for it. I'm gonna get the first. But part of me just wants to call straight running plays, and against this zone coverage, I'm gonna get open. That was a very big moment in this game, though what are we thinking? He just keeps on putting it 50 feet in the air like I need a bullet pass from you. I promise I've lost at least a year off of my life just filming this road to glory with him as the quarterback. I don't think there's any other way to put it. Stress levels through the roof. Championship hope still alive. Baylor has gotten a field goal though, so it's a one possession game. It's not like we're in full control of this one. I like what I'm seeing right here though. As long as we don't have an interception, that would be beautiful. But he throws an interception. Not only is he throwing an interception, but they're going to get a touchdown out of it. They're going to get a touchdown out of it. I was so open, and he managed to throw it 50 yards behind us. They don't get the 2-point conversion, but there's still a lot of time left in this game. That is a lot of time for him to turn it over once again. We basically just need one first down, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to come on the ground. That is why we're passing on 2nd and 8. Zig route. Beautiful. Craig Mason trying to end the game right here. We needed it. He just made a huge play for us, but here's the issue. We need one more. I thought we had enough, but we didn't. So now we need this 3rd and 1 read option to work out in our favor. Drogish is going to have enough. And from here, we can take a QB kneel. It was a nail biter. We almost blew that with interceptions, but the playoff hopes are going to stay alive, and Craig Mason wins player of the game. I now have a lot of hope that we're going to finish this season strong, but we might not make the Big 12 championship still, so there's no way we can lose. You all know the drill. We win, we get in. We have a couple road games. Kansas State one's still going to be tough. But before we get to that, we get to play the Kansas Jayhawks first. At least it looks like it's going to be a clear day. And first drive of the day, the sun is out. We are hopefully going to be able to bring this in. Now, it is very important that Brady Drogish does not look into the sun during this entire game, because if he does that, we know what's going to happen. He already can't see the field as well as he needs to. 3rd and 18, though, does not make me feel much better right here. And we're open. We found the open space in the defense deep. This time around, somebody's got to be catching this one, and you already know who it is. Anderson's going to put us up 7-0. With Kansas responding back as fast as they did, I'm going to need him to do that a lot in this game. But he just completely missed that pass, and then he put that ball out there. There is no reason we should have been able to bring that one in. We just got very fortunate, though we are going to be able to get this too. And I like how it's looking at the moment. If we go to the outside, we might be able to beat him deep. These are consistent completions without interceptions. That is what this team has needed for so long. I really dislike how every time we have success, though, the Jayhawks also do. And there's the interception. I shouldn't have jinxed it. It's on me. We just gave up a field goal before halftime for no reason at all. He is putting this one out the second the ball is snapped, and look who's running under it. If it wasn't for Dakari Anderson, where would this team be? That is something I think about quite a bit, and I think we've beat them to this spot on the field. Mason, come on, keep on going. Craig is still not fast enough to win that battle in the long run, unfortunately. But we all know his speed has still improved, and where did that ball go so fast? You really never know what to expect inside the red zone. I'm hoping that we can get open, but instead instead we take the sack, so we're kicking a field goal. If our defense holds it down like this, though, we're gonna be okay. That's actually a solid read. And this is one of the only times this season I've actually felt pretty good about this team they got to that. That was almost a beautiful split of the defense deep. We just got caught. And considering it's 3rd and 10, we have to be able to at least get in field goal range, but our tight end brought that in. He had a dude all over him, but it didn't stop him from catching it. And I didn't want that ball. Brady Drogish never wants the easy win this year. No, he wants everything to be down to the wire. I think we're still going to be fine, though. It's really Kansas State next week that worries me a bunch. That's a game I'm not sure we would win. We're going to have a perfect cut right here, though. And it is so frustrating how that ball was just inaccurately placed, and then he does it again. He does it again. I got stuck on the route. That was not where it needed to be. But look at where we have the football to start this drive. Our defense truly is insane. They set us up for success with a turnover immediately after that. I'm possession catching it. And even if this entire matchup has been a complete mess, we're about to score another touchdown. I told you all, I'm not worried about stats. I would much rather us just hand it off. But that never seems to lead to us finishing a drive, and we are open here. Have we sealed our win, though? Absolutely not. Kansas was able to score again, so we need a first down. I really don't know why we're going for it on 4th and 1, though, instead of just punting it to them. They could very easily get a touchdown now. And I am so thankful that this team and defense has been able to survive another week. If it wasn't for this man, like I've said, we would not be here. But while he wins player of the game, he gets a lot less receptions, so I don't think he's going to get any huge awards. Johnny Steele says we're on an impressive win streak. What's the biggest contributing factor to our success? I think I have to credit my teammates. It wouldn't be fair to take all the credit. But if I could, I'd throw Brady Drogish under the bus. There's a bug going around it. Hit the offensive position groups. Is this our quarterback getting sick right here? Please tell me he's sick. There it is. Our starting quarterback and halfback both have -10 stamina, but they're not going to miss the game. This is even worse. We're about to face Kansas State on the road. I need to be Mr. Reliable, 10 catches and a win. But Brady Drogish is already bad enough, and now he's going to have this stomach bug. He's going to have his flu game versus the Jayhawks. This is worst case scenario, though our route running did go up a little bit because of the NIL deal. And from a conference standings perspective, we could knock Kansas State out of the Big 12 Conference Championship. It's the game of the week for a reason. If we lose this, our playoff chances go down quite a bit. But we might still be able to sneak in at 9-3, which is crazy to say. The Big 12 is definitely a lot more respected in this game than they are in real life. That was a perfectly placed pass. And you know what? Maybe this is Brady's flu game. I said it was going to be from the start, but I shouldn't have called for that. You cannot make mistakes versus elite teams. And what have we done off the rip? It was certainly not his fault, but we have the ball back already. That is what I love to see. And he just took a sack right there. Now they're running some sort of cover 3. I'm not sure where this is going. We are on a 3rd and 18. I'd honestly rather just get a field goal out of this drive, but we could have gotten a first. And it's really our acceleration being too low. If our defense is going to stop Kansas State like this, though, we're going to be just fine. I'm hoping that's going to Dakari Anderson. And I figured it was a guarantee that he'd break free. Why? There was no reason to put that there. I was clearly clamped. I didn't even have a chance to make a route. The fact that they did not score out of that is insane to me. I don't know what is going wrong over here at Kansas State. It is not going to last forever, though. This pretty much needs to be the final drive of the first half. That was a beautiful throw. And I'm really starting to wonder why you can't play like that all the time. It would be so nice. As time winds down in the first half, though, I'm hoping to beat this press. I'm able to at least get around to go to the one. No, fight the way into the end zone. And I'm not sure if we're still in the Heisman running, but I'm sure we are. It'd be very surprising if we weren't. We have it with 33 seconds left in this game as well. And he is scrambling right here. I'll block for you. Now 27 seconds before halftime. That is plenty of time to do something with it. Though, you all know what he's going to do. We were on a slant. That was our route for that play, a slant. And instead, he gave them free points. Now, I don't know how Kansas State manages to mess up that field positioning. I'm going to assume that their field goal kicker is terrible. Because we have done everything wrong in this game, and we are still up by 10 points. If they're truly this bad, maybe this is a team that we want to play again, especially in the playoffs. And here we go. 1st and goal. I'm going to run the drag underneath, and we're going to get in. They finally figured out their offense, though. Unfortunately, that means we're only up by 10. But Dakari Anderson just took the top off of their D. They responded back in a minute, though. I'm not sure what all changed. I'm seriously at that point in the season where I would rather us just run the ball and try to take the clock down. But we can't. It's now 3rd and 5, and I'm not sure where that went. It's 4th down. This is where the choke could happen. But you best believe our defense wasn't giving up anything stupid right there, and because they started run committing on the next possession, we're just going to run straight by them. I'm really hoping that they do that again. I would love to just run by them for another touchdown, and that's what we're going to do. This would help in the Heisman race a bunch. That was way too clean of a release for it to be the press pro ability, at least on the first one. But guess what? We are going to win player of the game with Craig because of those late 2 touchdowns. I'm also going to agree to go to a concert with my teammates. We have good chemistry going. But that was a mistake. Stomach bug. Negative 15 stamina for our next game because I was around other sick players. I've never had that happen before in Road to Glory. It looks like I took over the game though, so we're going to increase our coach trust, which doesn't matter. Because basically since Craig arrived on Cincinnati's campus, it's been maxed out. With 2 games left in the season though, it's looking pretty good for us. Because we're a top 4 team in the country, he could still get the Heisman. And we get to play against Houston at home, who is only an 82 overall. I feel like this is a game that we should be able to cruise through and put up some really impressive stats, especially if we started off with a touchdown here. But the main goal for Brady Dragish should simply be not throw an interception. I've called for a run right here because I simply want us to get into the end zone. But that's not good enough for 3-7 Houston. They have scored even though they've probably barely scored throughout this entire season. I really miss being able to get blowout wins. It's been a pain. And we're just gonna stay pushing it down the field right here. I did not call for that. Considering that was 4 verticals, I should have known a lot better than the run there too. What's important though is the drive seems to be staying alive. We don't get the 3rd down. And this is a huge 4th and 1 for us. I'm gonna possession catch it if we get it, though we stood up. For being so tiny, Craig Mason can actually break free from a lot of stuff, surprisingly. And here we go. We're flying down the field. A little cut to the outside, touchdown. We also have the ball back on offense after Houston did not score, which is really good news. The question will be though, can we do something with it? And I think I've split the defense deep. This is one of the only times that Craig Mason is gonna get a long touchdown. That was one of the greatest feelings ever. I know that he is 95 speed now, but it wasn't always that way. The days of 79 are still very much so in my mind, and where's this even going on 3rd and 2? It was very hard to tell, but apparently our drive has stayed alive, and we have an open receiver there to take it inside the red zone to the 10. This is how you end a first half right here. They have a zone drop in there. I'm waiting to try and get open. We go to the 1, and I think we just got to shove as many bodies as we can right here in the zone so we can take it in. You would assume this game would just be over, but Houston said no. We're going to start scoring again, even though we rarely do that, so we're going to split them up the middle on that cover 3. I knew moving over to the slot would pay off. This is seriously what we needed. After so many close games, we're dominating. And do you know what the difference is in this one? Brady Dragish has not thrown an interception, and we are almost in the 4th quarter. We've not gotten pulled from this one, though. They're keeping us out there on the field, and this time around, Dakari Anderson has a touchdown. Keep in mind, going into this game, we were supposed to have minus 15 stamina, but we're breaking a tackle for a tutty. I have not seen Craig play like this in so long. The only thing I can think of even being slightly comparable to this is a game that he had when he was a junior, though I might have just cost Brady Dragish a perfect game. I shouldn't have called for that ball. I got greedy, and the poor man's running back to make a tackle. That is his first interception of this one. He was about to have a perfect performance. He might as well get another one right here, too. Just chucking it up. We can't get over to it, though. It's Dakari Anderson running under. We had the block. This was a perfect game here in Cincinnati, and I don't think we're ever going to win another one like this. He literally threw for 560 yards, 6 touchdowns, and Dakari Anderson played really well, but I somehow had an even better game. That was a special moment for the team, but my tight end is saying I haven't contributed to the group project. Buddy, I graduated last year. I haven't been taking classes. EA is going to decrease my GPA and punish us, even though they said we're already done with school. Those are the polished flaws in Road to Glory I just wish they would have touched up on. And going into this final week of the season, we're up to 9 skill points. I think we need 13 to upgrade our quickness. As of now, we should be a lock for the Big 12 championship. No clue who we're going to face, but I guess that could change if we lost this week, and Craig Mason is up to number 1 in the voting. Now, sometimes I forget these teams are rivals because of how competitive these games always are. So we better be careful or else the Knights could come out and stun us. Now, first play of the game, I'm thinking if this is cover 2, we're going to be fine. I do not like that we have lobbed that one 50 feet in the air, especially since I didn't even call for it, but we have to keep in mind, Brady's coming off of a really good performance. I'm going to trust him in this game to lead us to victory. We cannot keep having passes like this, though. I'm not sure what causes it, but it's one of the more ridiculous things I have seen on this game. And are we seriously staying up with Mason? It took a lot of Craig's wear and tear to pull that off, but that was incredibly impressive. We still have a little bit to go though before we've reached the end zone. We're getting another catch. And we're currently just running up the numbers versus UCF. I've routed up that corner right there, but he caught us. You would have thought we'd get a touchdown out of that. We should get one here. And Craig Mason is basically just the entire offense for us at the moment, though somebody else is finally making a catch, a touchdown. It's no surprise, it's Dakari Anderson. And our defense keeps on getting us the ball back in these incredible incredible spots on the field. I want to get over there and help block, but I can't. Which means we're going to face a 3rd and 5, and you know how we're going to route him up. Whether or not Craig gets the touchdown right here, though, it really doesn't matter. I just want to go up by 21. And those early turnovers for the Knights are going to make it incredibly difficult for them to ever be in this game. We'll see how the first half ends, but I'm pretty sure this one's just already over from this point. And that's a little bit crazy to me considering there's still a few minutes left in the second quarter. Do you see in the bottom right corner who's in at quarterback, though? It is not Brady Drogish. Something happened to him on that last play, and the backup's missing throws. If that affects us long term, it's going to be a problem. And as much as I've complained about having him as our quarterback, I might realize I'm going to regret doing so. We're going to get a huge gain. And apparently he is back out on the field. That feels like it's good news just with the way he's played recently. I'm hoping that we can send up a Hail Mary on the final play of the half here and make a catch inbounds, but they swatted it. Either way, though, our quarterback's healthy. We're up by 17. And we should be able to close this one out, but we're still going to have to make some plays. If anything major happens, I'm hoping that I'm talking while it does. I almost got loose here. And they're running press coverage off of the line. We don't have the best release in the world, but this ball is put exactly where it needs to be for a touchdown. I just don't think these corners have what it takes to stick with us. We're going to go for another one. Why not? We dropped the ball. That is so disappointing right there. Now it is 3rd and 10, and we're going to secure catch. By the end of the game, though, we're basically just looking for one more touchdown. That would really add to the stats. And we will see if we can get open off rip right here. We're going to run with it, and they're in. If Craig Mason has not emerged as the Heisman favorite after the last couple weeks, I don't know what else he has to do, because he somehow just brought in that ball right there even, and we're going to go for another touchdown, but it's going to be intercepted instead. Either way, we're going to get the win. It's not even going to be close. And I can promise that we're ready for the Big 12 championship. It is kind of sad to get this text, though. As Craig's career is coming to a close, how do you reflect on your college experience? I think we really have to reflect on all the growth that we've had, because in this time frame, he went from a 1-star recruit to one of the best receivers ever. The winning cannot stop here, though. Now we have to take down Arizona. And if we get a couple more skill points just by training a little bit more, we're going to be able to upgrade his speed. During that bye week, we have now gotten this same NIL offer twice. And as we spend more of our energy, it's becoming very apparent that we are going to have to make sure our health is right for the conference championship. But we should be able to upgrade our speed after it, and we'll see if we can beat Arizona. Looking back on our schedule, we lost to undefeated #1 Clemson and Oklahoma State, who finished ranked inside the top 25. So I can't say that either of those losses were that bad now. And we just have to make sure that we don't choke against the Wildcats. Even though neither of us are even ranked inside the top 5, this was listed as game of the week. And I think it's because of how chaotic the college football world has been throughout this season. I mean, we have 2 losses and we're a top 5 team. That says a lot about everybody else. Because normally a Big 12 school like ours would not be ranked as highly as we are with that scenario. I can't remember if we've played Arizona this season or not, though, so we're just going to see how we do in this game. I have no previous track record. And that means as we end this first quarter, I'm going to hit him with the little zig that I always run inside the red zone. But it was not held onto, so now we're just going to have to catch a slant, but that was so off target, there was no shot. That is not what I want to see out of Brady, but he might be able to hit us for a huge gain right here, which would have been incredible if he didn't take a huge sack on the next play and we're still getting it back. Now, the real question is, will Brady Drogish throw an interception at this point on the field again? And I really want to assume that he's going to learn from his mistakes, but he has to hit us. There we go. That is exactly what we needed right there. Now they're running some form of cover 3, but it also could have been match coverage. It was super hard to tell, and we just routed that kid up. It hurts my soul that Craig stepped on the line right there, but we are going to beat the press. And I think we have a quarters look right here because it says cover 4. That is normally not anything other than quarters. If Arizona is going to scream like that against us, though, we're just going to have to get it out quicker. They knew where we were going. And that means here on 3rd and 16, we have a goal of getting in field goal range, but I don't know if it's enough. Well, we simply just missed the kick. There's no other way to put it, though we were open on 3rd down. That would have been a great start to the 3rd quarter. And just the fact that this is where we're getting the ball back is so crazy. Our defense is seriously carrying us at the moment. But I should have never said that, because then they gave up a touchdown, so we're back to only being up by a possession. They only ever seem to get stops when it's a close game, and if not, they want it to get closer by letting them score, but we're about to get in the end zone again. Take a wild guess at what happened, though. Arizona was able to respond back. Why are we getting thrown this? There is still 3 minutes left in this Big 12 Conference Championship that we could blow the game. But I would like to assume that we wouldn't do that in this situation, and that was close. We all know that he loves to throw it, even if I'm not calling for the ball here. Please don't be an interception. I saw it coming from a mile away. I was actually calling for it too. They could go down the field and take the lead. But you know what actually happened? Our defense got it back to us immediately, and that's not good. It is now 3rd and 21. It seems like Arizona is going to get that chance to respond back, and they were able to play that ball right there. We are relying on them one final time. And I can't even say I'm surprised that we gave up some points. Now we're going to have to get in field goal range. The pressure is definitely on right now, though. We have beaten the press. We're going to lay out for it, and that probably would have done it right there, but Craig messed up. I don't know where this ball is even going. We had them right where we wanted them. Now we're in a spot where on third down, we throw it straight to him. And this is bad right here. It is 4th and 10. I'm going to run the slant, and Craig is going to catch the ball. In my opinion, that is what you call clutching up, though we still would like to get more yards. And I guess we can try and get a little bit closer right here, but we're not catching it. We have been taken off of the field, and it looks like the field goal was made. We actually hit it. There was nothing that Craig could do at that moment. All we had to do was just hope that the college kicker did not miss. And thankfully, we have survived, even though we almost choked that by not running. The goal was always a national championship, though, so no matter what awards we're getting here, it is not good enough for me. There is the Heisman Trophy, back-to-back ones. And can I just point out that we already have more receiving yards than Craig did as a junior, though the touchdown totals are definitely lower. Just looking back at the schedule, it's been a special season. Oklahoma State really held him, but besides that, no one else knew how to stop Craig. And I didn't even know that you could find this traits tab in here, that traits were a thing in this game until today, but I have found it, and this is pretty interesting to see. We've made it all the way to the playoffs, though, and the Big 12 teams are on our side of the bracket. So this was the last thing that I wanted to happen. I wanted to avoid teams from our conference. But the more that I think about it, it is probably better to play BYU instead of Georgia anyway. There is one thing we have to do before we play Pittsburgh, though, because we've been able to save up 16 skill points, and it is just time that we max out this speed. It's crazy to think Craig came this far. He had 79 at the start of college. We could also probably afford to spend a little bit on one of these abilities, but as good as Sure Hands would probably be for us, I think I'm going to wait until next week if we win so we can upgrade our elusiveness. If he's going to have 99 speed, I want him to move around in a fun manner. We average less points per game than BYU, but there's no way we lose this. It's hard to believe they were as good as they were in the first place with that overall, but that doesn't mean everything. We're about to test out this 99 speed, and I want to be thrown to, not throwing to the Cougars already. Come on, Brady. They've literally scored immediately because of that. Now we're going to try and get open. If we can cut the corner, it'd be nice. But either way, we're basically waiting on the press, and if this is cover 2, we're going to destroy it. Not being able to get Craig Mason's speed upgraded until this moment is incredible. He takes it all the way to the 2. But that was 100% a ball I would have not called for, and please just run it in. I really think offensively we should be fine from this point. There is that press pro going to work. You pair that with 99 speed, and he is going to be able to dust everybody. Craig Mason has come so far. By the end of this, we have to check some of the national records too, because for whatever reason, it hasn't even clicked in my head until now that he's probably broken those as well, but we fumbled. We're very lucky we picked it up. We are just going to beat them off of the line right here. I don't know if we can catch this though. Even with 99 speed on Heisman, it's not going to be a guaranteed touchdown until we start routing them up. I think through the course of this series though, especially since we did start with such low speed, I've become a much better wide receiver than I ever was before. Like, it clearly seems pretty easy right now, because it is. I mean, they're throwing it to us right off the rip, though that is how it could go wrong for us. And I still don't think we're going to blow the game. But anyway, if we can blow by this corner, it does not bug me at all, because we struggled for what, like 50, 60 games in this, and now we're finally being rewarded. There's really nothing they can do to stop Craig Mason. And I could save up for the press pro ability that means we'd beat it every single time, but I'd much rather make him a more rounded player by upgrading his spin move, his juke move, any type of agility, maybe even a hurdle. I think we're going to be able to confirm that we can win this game though, as long as we reach the end zone one more time. He is still going. I don't even know what I'm experiencing right now. It has never been this easy for us. It might not be that way versus every team though. BYU is not a very high overall. Now, I think for good measure, I am going to try and go for one more touchdown. That would at least give us the chance to get the best stats ever, though this was lobbed in the air. And we caught it. Okay, yep, Craig is just unstoppable now. This almost feels more overpowered than the perfect wide receiver video I made a couple months ago, because we have a good team around us. It's not on the worst team. And we gotta be done with this game. I am a little salty though that we got pulled in the fourth quarter, because Craig Mason already broke any record there could be, but he was 6 yards short of having 500 receiving yards. I don't think our next opponent's gonna be as easy though. Pittsburgh is the number 4 seed. And looking at the rest of the bracket, the teams ranked in the top 4 have made it to the semifinals. When it comes to the college record books though, I have to point out Craig Mason has the most receiving yards ever in a career, the most receptions, the most touchdown catches, but on a game-to-game basis, he only has the most receiving receiving yards in a game. He never broke the receptions one, and he just tied the touchdown catches one. Then from season to season, he's of course going to dominate. He even got last year's quarterback, Brendan Sorsby, into the record books. But I forgot to check our team season stats. At the moment, Brady Dragish has 55 touchdowns, 39 interceptions. And we ran the ball like 40 times total this season. Receiving wise, you know that Dakari Anderson put up numbers that would probably win the Heisman if I wasn't on this team. All of that aside though, I said I would spend these coach points, so we're going to pour it into elusiveness. And we are finally ready for our semifinal matchup against the Pittsburgh Panthers, who average a little less points per game, but they're a higher overall. This is the point where Nebraska ruined Craig's dreams just a year ago. But this time with a championship on his mind again, I'm really hoping he can get the second in his career. But why do we have to start the game bad? We're fortunate they only got a field goal out of it, but we're getting thrown the ball when we're not calling for it. This is terrible. Even though we're as good as we're ever going to get, we're still struggling. And I think the goal right here has to simply be toast them deep, call for the ball, but we're not outrunning this kid. It's another pick. 3 turnovers in 3 plays. They're already waving goodbye to us. Nah, we're going to have to get back for that. I can't believe what we're witnessing. They're backed up, so we're not going to get any easy looks to beat the press. And everything from Dragish has just been inaccurate. Our first points of the day have come off of a safety, not our offense, a safety from our defense. It is unbelievable that they're having to bail us out right now, but we're now inside the red zone. And if Brady Dragish decides to throw an interception right here, I'm gonna lose my mind. But that's on me. That is completely on Craig Mason. I shouldn't have called for it. We have hit full panic mode in this game. I'm not sure why either. There's still plenty of time left. We can't get too worked up. I just wish they had the same defensive scheme as BYU. It was so easy to outrun them. Maybe they watched the film though, and that's why they're playing us so back in this game compared to what they did. This is a time for us to not call for the ball in stupid spots though. We'll do slants instead. I think that's the better option, though I didn't even call for it. No, it's just collapsing. He's thrown, what, 4 picks, 5 turnovers? I don't know. I mean, it was only a matter of time before Pittsburgh scored, and I'm hoping that we can send it up. All I'm going to say about Dakari Anderson is he has not been doing what he was doing for us earlier on in this year. And we need some serious help or else we're going to be down 24-2 at the half. It just doesn't even feel real that it could be that bad, but we know what happens whenever he just chucks it up. He has done that again. Can we even get there in time to disrupt the ball? It is honestly incredible that we've even bounced back somewhat this season and had a decent year. He has returned to his prime form that was causing so many issues. That was not the read that was open, and they're forcing us to punt it on 4th and 3. As we get the ball in the 3rd quarter, though, Pittsburgh has tried to press us, and we've gone somewhere else. I need Brady to give us enough time to outrun them deep, but it's simply not happening. Please be Dakari Anderson streaking to the end zone. That's a big plus for us, but the last time I ran this route in this situation, he threw a pick. We've also gotten it back with a minute left in this 3rd quarter, though I'm not too excited about that, because I know I can guarantee that time is going to go by so fast. It doesn't help that we had a touchdown right there, and we're going to have something similar again. But he just missed it the first time around, and I'm calling for this. We got to take it. We have not gotten it back in the best of positions, though. As you can see, he's literally just giving it to them. Why would you do that? Why? I can't save this team. The year is over. Go ahead. Just end it for us. Hang on. That was actually a really good pass from him, but there's only 4 minutes left. I almost feel confused that we aren't completely out of the game. Though if he puts this one on the money, we're going to score again after we got to stop. I'm starting to realize those deep post routes are lethal. And guess who has the ball back again in a favorable spot? It is us, though. I don't know where he is slinging the rock. I just realized we have a 1-point lead. I'm not even sure how that happened either, though we're not getting the 3rd down. So Pittsburgh is not out of the game yet. If you want to talk about a bailout from a defense, though, you're seeing it. Craig's career is going to go on to a national championship game with a 1st down. And this is why any extra inches matter. We still need a little bit more on this 3rd down, but we don't get it. We're going to kick a field goal again. It was even missed, but somehow Pittsburgh did not score. So under the weirdest circumstances possible, Craig Mason can celebrate. He is headed to the national championship for the 2nd time in his career. And I don't know if Brady was trying to sabotage or what, but if he does that against Clemson, we can't get revenge. That is right. The team that beat us to start the year has still not lost a game. But we have an opportunity to knock them out, and we have 3 coach points to spend still. We're just going to go ahead, purchase sure hands. And that is our final upgrade as we go into the last game of Craig's career. Clemson's overall is still above the 90s. This is kind of a sad moment though. I want to relive practice one final time. And the one drill that he could never do well in was backfield survival because he had 79 speed. I think things are about to be much different. I've never gotten to play this with a player that is as fast as him. I've never really gotten to experience it in general, but I want to see how high of a score we are able to get, though we might be getting tracked down right here. Well, maybe Craig is still a failure at that drill, but he is hoping that he doesn't come out a failure in this game. I think it's all going to depend what type of coverage Clemson runs if they press us a bunch, and how much they score, because they've already gotten 7 points. We can't have any mistakes. There's been a big improvement, though, since we last played. Their defense was getting flipped right here, and he still deflected it. That could have been a great way to start this game. Now it's 3rd down, and we had to route him up. I really don't care if we call for the ball 50,000 times. I just want to make sure we don't lose this. Why are we throwing up a jump ball to them that they could have intercepted? I think Brady Drogish is literally playing jackpot mid-game. I'm going to need him to do that right here, though. And hopefully, we can come down with this one. We are going to catch it. There is no reason the ball should ever be in the air for that long. But it took them like a minute to score against us. So we are going to need a lot of touchdowns in this game. That was it right there. It was the perfect look. We could make it 14 all, but instead now we're going to take a sack. I am not happy with this team at the moment. I don't think we're going to get this 3rd and long. And that gives Clemson a chance to score again. It's probably best case scenario that they were only able to get a field goal out of that drive. But I'm telling you right now, not getting points on one drive could literally cost us, and now we're having an interception. Brady Drogish does not throw it to the players that are open. He throws it to the other team. And our defense is currently working overtime for us. We are still in a 10-point game, so I'm very thankful. We need this to continue, though. We need to be able to make this a 3-point one. So my hope is before the end of the first half, we can crack our way into the end zone. That was a bad route. That was a bad call for the ball right there, but we should be able to catch this. And it was very key that we moved the chains in that situation. We're starting to have a little bit more success here. We're going to beat them off of the line, and that will give us a touchdown. We also get the ball to start the 3rd quarter, so it's all looking pretty good. The hiccups in the first half are not going to be an excuse, because we're going to have our chance to redeem ourselves, and this could be a great play from Craig. We've not had many of those where he just takes a drag for a lot of yards, but I guess we could now. And there's still times where they press us pretty well, though that route right there might do it if he had a little bit more acceleration. It is not the free touchdowns that we saw versus BYU, unfortunately. Clemson's defense is a lot better, and it's another interception from Brady. We're going to have to bring him down. Dakari Anderson is just getting clamped up by that corner right now. That's 2 picks from him. But our defense is doing something I was not expecting. We've gotten it back immediately. Now I am petrified of the type of read that he's going to make down here on the goal line, and that is why. That is exactly why. I can't believe he just threw it straight to him. It's just turnover after turnover. It really doesn't matter if we keep getting it back. I just know he's going to have another bad read sooner rather than later. I'm actually very relieved he was able to find somebody else right there. But most of the time when he does target somebody else, it leads to an interception, so we got to step up. We could end this 3rd quarter with a lead, even though it has been a very rough second half, and that's what we're going to do. Craig Mason just needs to finish this one strong. But with Clemson scoring, he's going to have to come up big right here. Where's that ball going? With a championship on the line like this, I am going to be extremely, extremely nervous. And I think one of the better things that we could do is try to make sure this is the final drive of the game. The problem with that is we are using the air raid playbook, and that can be bad. There's like 0 runs in here, and he is guaranteed to force the ball where it shouldn't be. I ran off from it. This game should actually be over. I don't know what I was thinking there, but we have it back with 52 seconds left, and Craig Mason has beat 40 from the 6-yard line. He's gonna have a 94-yard touchdown here. Do we run around, or do we just take it in? You know what? After that interception that I thought cost us the championship, we relied on our defense, so we'll do it for 41 seconds. Keep in mind, even with the mistakes, 18 catches, 380 receiving yards, 4 touchdowns, and now it all comes down to if we can hold Clemson, which I think we have done, and that means Cincinnati is winning a national championship. This feels like one of the greatest achievements I've had on this game so far, because with how we played offensively, I don't think we deserve to win in the semifinals or the finals. There is no other way to end this series than thanking each one of these defenders that stepped up when we needed them the most. There are overalls that are super low in here, but they still outperform their expectation. And that, alongside the greatest receiver ever, got him a national championship at Texas A&M, a Heisman Trophy with Cincinnati, and then a Heisman Trophy and a championship in his final season here. There will truly never be another receiver like Craig Mason. He went from 79 speed, a 1-star recruit, to the best receiver ever. And now he has no other option but to go on to the NFL and be a monster. Now, just being transparent, I'm not going to take the series over to Madden. I just don't enjoy the game as a wide receiver that much on there. But thank you all for so much support on this series, and we'll have some more stuff coming in the future.